Meta. The company's recent troubles range from employees stealing user accounts and apparently accepting bribes to a declining stock price, widespread layoffs, an inefficient economic model, and the inevitable failure of the metaverse project. According to the company's most recent financial report, Meta's quarterly net profit fell by 52%. If nothing changes, the firm that people love to despise will be in big danger. Investors in Meta currencies are quite unhappy. They have experienced stagnant growth as well as declining revenue and profits. Less than a year ago, Meta was valued at roughly $1 trillion. Today, it's worth less than a third of that. The drop has been so severe that the stock price is now where it was in January of 2016. If you invested in Meta at that time without extracting profits, you've lost money. Meta is the worst performing stock in the entire S&P 500 this year, having fallen by 70%. Hello, and welcome to yet another video of Startup Bits. We shall learn everything there is to know about the metaverse and Zuckerberg's multi-billion-dollar investment in its success today. We shouldn't waste any time, so let's begin right away. A look back to 2005 provides a glimpse into the bigger picture of why Meta is failing. Mark Zuckerberg relied on Sean Parker, Facebook's then president, for guidance as he made his way through Silicon Valley at that time. Mark would benefit from his assistance in taking over the company entirely. Under the advice of Sean Parker, he would build up the corporation so that he was virtually the king. He overruled everyone, even the board of directors. The invulnerability to touching him was permanent. This tyranny would come back to hurt the corporation in the 2010s. Users started to transition from PCs to cell phones. Even though Facebook evolved, Mark Zuckerberg always felt they might have been more competitive in the hardware market. In 2013, Facebook attempted to sell their own smartphone. However, the general population turned a deaf ear to it. Clearly, Mark needed to change tactics, and he would unearth it in the year 2014. As soon as Zuckerberg tried out an Oculus demo, he was sure that virtual reality, VR, was the way of the future in terms of computers. After spending $2 billion on Oculus, he rebranded the company and dedicated $10 billion annually to R&D in pursuit of his ambition. And thus lays one of the major concerns because Mark was king. Nobody within the organization could stop him, even if they thought it was a horrible idea. However, I believe that the trajectory of technology will eventually lead to a metaverse that is accessible to the public. Whether it's 5 or 15 years from now, the future will evolve into a virtual world where people spend their entire lives online using virtual reality. Meta might be able to hold off and finish the book if it's at least 5 years away. Investors won't put up with it if the timeline is more than 15 years out. Investors are concerned that Zuckerberg is betting Tyson Foods on a trend that isn't widespread. Apple successfully broke through this issue with the iPhone. Meta isn't on the same level here. In terms of hardware, they're doing interesting stuff, and they sold over 10 million VR headsets, so that's a win. But on the software side, Meta's main metaverse product spanning realms looks horrible. Honestly, I find it difficult to comprehend that nearly $15 billion was invested in its production. Second, targeted advertising, Meta's primary source of income, is being severely hampered. Again, we need to go back to 2008 to get the whole picture. By the end of this year, Facebook would have hired Sheryl Sandberg, a former Google Ads executive, to serve as COO. In the beginning, she would act recklessly and try to balance the marks. However, she also played a key role in developing the concept that would ultimately launch Facebook into the stratosphere: targeted advertising based on users' individual information. This model became so successful that early employees were able to amass substantial wealth as a result. Although financially beneficial, this was unfavorable to the general public. When users realized they were being used for personal gain, they were furious. This was of no concern, however, as the business was, unbeknownst to its leaders, raking in cash. Meta was now vulnerable to any outside party who disabled its data collection, and this is exactly what happened in 2021. Longtime COO Sheryl Sandberg resigned in 2022. Mark Zuckerberg lacks boundaries. High interest rates are destroying high-risk investments like big tech, but Facebook just laid off 11,000 workers. Zuckerberg claims that excessive investments caused the stock price drop, but doubling down on the metaverse won't worry him. On November 10th, he planned to tell investors he expected COVID's online sales boost to last. He boosted his investments, but this didn't work out. Online business has resumed old practices. The macroeconomic downturn, increased competition, and ad signal degradation have reduced our revenue. To make a long story short, Meta is going through an identity crisis with a king who has tunnel vision. So, what are the options? From the outside, it appears that some soul searching is required. Meta is already popular with businesses, so Mark should embrace it. One company is purely technological with the goal of creating the metaverse. The other is a company that deals with social media and advertising, and the CEO of this company has lost interest. Perhaps it's time to make the social media division a real subsidiary led by a different CEO. The lone ray of light is that Meta still has about 4 billion clients. There's a lot of room for improvement. But first, will they? And second, do we really want that? Let's just say that if someone else developed a metaverse for the masses, I wouldn't be happy. So, what are your thoughts? Please share your thoughts in the comments box below. If you enjoyed our video, then hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We will see you in the next video.